In this video, I'm going to cover the recent Binance Terra Luna Classic burn and explain how they could burn 154 billion Terra Luna Classic. Let's get into it. So first off, we're going to talk about the recent Binance burn that just came out. So if you guys don't know, Binance updates this sheet every week with the burn amount of Terra Luna Classic. So we can actually go ahead and see really quick. The first week, they ended up burning roughly 5.5 billion Terra Luna Classic. Now, it's important to note within this time frame, we can see right here the period of calculations. This is something a lot of people are missing, so this is critical. This date range is over a 10-day period of time. Now, this next following week, the one that we just received, this is only a 7-day period of time. And so comparing this apples to apples, of course, the 10-day period is going to burn more. And so even though this is comparing 10 days versus 7 days, and a lot of people are missing that important distinction, even on a daily basis, we're burning less Terra Luna Classic this past week. And that's mainly due to lower volume. In that first week, we had a lot of big announcements that were coming out, a lot of important key things for the Terra Luna Classic community. This week, we haven't really had that much. We've had some talk about repegging stable tokens and some stuff like that, but nothing big for Terra Luna Classic, the token itself. And so this is something important for us to understand, but we need to take a daily number and zoom out and see how could this impact a longer term horizon, because looking at 1 week, of course, the number is going to be low. So I'm going to show you guys a spreadsheet that I put together, but before we do that, there's a few key things that I need to show you. First off, you can go over here to LUNC Penguins. You can actually see all the burn amounts that have been happening for Terra Luna Classic. There's a long list. Every single time someone sends something to the burn wallet, it's tracked here, as well as the top burners and the amount burned. So there's a lot of information here. It's a really valuable resource for you guys to check out. Of course, we're looking at the Binance burn specifically, but there's a few things that we need to factor in here and understand. So the 24-hour volume, right now we're looking at about $450 million of 24-hour volume. We've become used to the past 2 weeks seeing billion-dollar plus numbers, but it's important for us to set our frame of reference here. This puts us in one of the top cryptocurrencies, even at roughly $500 million of daily volume. So we need to have that frame of reference. But if we scroll down, again, we're just talking about Binance today in this video. Binance makes up roughly 55% of trading volume. All the numbers I show you on the spreadsheet, they're going to be potentially be doubled because Binance is roughly 50% of the volume. And so if all exchanges decided to burn their exchange fees instead of keeping that money, we could potentially double the amount burned by exchanges as a whole instead of just having to look at Binance individually. But in this video, let's look at the spreadsheet with Binance. Okay, so let's start up here in the top right-hand corner. We were looking at a daily burn of about $125,000 worth of Terra Luna Classic, which equates to just shy of $900,000 weekly of Terra Luna Classic, or roughly, if we put that into terms of Terra Luna Classic, we're looking at 427 million Terra Luna Classic burned daily. So if we look at a 3-month time frame right here, we're seeing roughly 0.6% of Terra Luna Classic's total supply being burned over 3 months just by Binance. This is not factoring on-chain. This is not factoring other exchanges. And so this number could be a lot higher if we get a lot of other exchanges involved, like I said, but that equates to roughly 40 billion Terra Luna Classic. 6 months, we're looking at 1.15, and if we look at a year, we're looking at 2.3% of the total Terra Luna Classic supply. And this means even at the lower volume numbers than what we've been used to, we could be seeing 154 billion Terra Luna Classic burned over the course of the year. Now, that's a lot coming from one exchange, and of course, Binance has a large amount of the volume, but one exchange burning with lower volume numbers, now this could actually go a lot higher if we could increase our daily volume. And so let's say we change our daily volume to $1 billion a day. Now, of course, that would be difficult to sustain for a whole year, but if we could do that and we factor in on-chain, and let's say we're factoring in other exchanges in this situation, not just Binance, we'd be looking at roughly 5%, 4.5% of the total supply burned in 3 months, at 6 months, 9%, in that 1 year, close to 18% of the total supply being burned, or over 1 trillion Terra Luna Classic. This is a massive amount of tokens that could be burned if we're able to get higher volume, get other exchanges involved, and do the on-chain burn. There's a lot of potential here. And of course, this is also only factoring and assuming that we're doing a 0.1% burn. For anyone who doesn't know, Binance is not doing a 1.2% burn. They're doing their trading fees, which normally is 0.1%. So if we could get $1 billion of volume with 1.2%, this could be really crazy numbers. And so yeah, these current numbers with the current volume is not what we want to see, right? Nobody's really going to get super duper excited right now of a 2.3% burn over 1 year. That's not what we're wanting. We're all wanting that 99% burn, but this is the first step, and this is low volume. There's going to be times, of course, where the number doesn't look as good, and that's something we need to stomach and come to terms with. It's really the question of how do we build towards the future of making this look better so we can actually hit something like an 80-90% burn. So while we're working on building out the ecosystem, building out the utility, building out reasons for people to use their tokens and actually burn down the supply, I'm staking my Terra Luna Classic to earn insane yields that you guys don't want to miss out on. So check out this video up here if you guys want to stake your Terra Luna Classic, turn insane yields like me.